Koine Greek, and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at John chapter 4, verse 24. I had initially, when looking at the page, hoped that I might be able to find a good spot to continue on into verse 25, so there's a little bit more material, but there just isn't a good location. So it's just 24 today. Let's go ahead and get started. Last time in John chapter 4. And there we go. Here's a rubric, everything we look for as we go through the text. Let's go ahead and get started. Pneuma ho theos, kai tous pros kununtos auton en pneumati, kai aletheiai de pros kunein. That's as far as we're going to make it. So first word, pneuma. This is, of course, a neuter noun. And then we get ho theos in that same clause. There's no verb, which then means that we probably need to assume a verb. We take a look at the form of pneuma as a third. With that alpha right there, the form is pneuma, pneumatos. So this alpha could either be nominative or accusative. It is singular and, of course, neuter. We got ho theos with that omicron sigma right there. We, of course, know that this is nominative, singular, and masculine. So then what would make most sense for this clause, for the verb, would be a form of eimi. So is, which would then mean that pneuma must be nominative rather than accusative. So we insert esti. So then we get spirit is the God, or really the way that Greek works is it likes to have the subject of declarative sentences like that be the second of the two nominatives. And the second one is always the one that has the article. So it's actually going to be subject here, predicate right there. So the particular singular God is spirit. There we go. Kai and tous pronokununtas. So here we have a participle, we know, because the new tau right there, the alpha sigma ending, that's going to be our accusative, singular, and masculine. Inti alpha of proskun, that's going to be the present stem. And it is, of course, active, and it is participle, as I said. We've got the contraction there of the epsilon with the omicron, and we can also tell because of the circumflex accent. But that's not our main verb. Instead, we need to look elsewhere to find that. We just know participle, with the article, of course, going with that. Auton, nope, in prepositional phrase right there with that iota, and is clearly taking the dative as its case. Kai aletheia. Here we have a sub-iota, so this is going to be another dative, therefore going with the preposition. De is our main verb, so prepositional phrase closes there. We have epsilon iota, circumflex, and this one is going to be a third person singular present tense, which is common with this verb, and it is, of course, active and indicative. This one, as we have seen before, means that it is necessary, it is needful, and it takes a infinitive as its object, which we find right here with pros kunein, epsilon iota nu. So that's a present, active, and it is infinitive. So it is necessary to worship. But what de also does is it takes a accusative for the subject of the infinitive quite often, which we actually have right here with pros kununtas. So, and the way we would put it is to keep this as close to the Greek order as possible, we would say, and for those worshiping, and then worshiping needs its own direct object, which we find with auton, omicron nu there for the accusative singular masculine, referring back to God. Ooh, that's a terrible H, I'm sorry. Then we can translate our prepositional phrase, and of course means in. Pneumati, we already know from the iota, is going to be dative and singular neuter, as pneuma is there. Kai aletheia, that alpha there tells us that this is at least a first declension, and we should know by now that aletheia is feminine, so also singular and feminine. So now, and for those worshiping him in spirit and in truth, it is to worship. So the way that we should understand that is that there should be comma right there. And I think we should actually take auton with the second proskunein. So instead, the idea that I think that we have is we should say, it is necessary for those worshiping that they worship him in spirit and in truth. So the prepositional phrase, at the very least, does go with proskunein, and auton can go with the first one, or it can go with the second one. So that's up to you. So I'm going to actually put this comma in brackets, put another comma here, also in brackets, to mark that. All right, so verse 24 altogether. The God is spirit, and for those worshiping him in spirit and in truth, it is necessary to worship. And there we have it. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you, and I hope that you have a very good day. Farewell.